Tomorrow afternoon, Illinois will get a new Secretary of State for the first time since 1999. Long known as the state's most popular politician, Jesse White is leaving the office he's held for 24 years, the first African-American to hold the post and the longest-serving Secretary of State in Illinois history. White has cultivated countless programs for Illinois drivers, at-risk youth, and more, all while navigating the notoriously difficult world of politics in the land of Lincoln. But he doesn't see the end of his time in office as the end of his public service. Secretary of State Jesse White joins me this morning in studio during the final hours of his time in office. And sir, it's an honor because I understand this is your final interview you'll do while Secretary of State.
Paul, it is the final interview, and I'm really glad the people of the state of Illinois found enough appreciation for me to allow me to serve for 24 years.
Indeed they did. What I want to do is go back in time just a little bit, something people may not know, which is you had a little help during your years at Alabama State as a student, and that help financially and otherwise came from somebody we know as Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, I won a scholarship to Alabama State. I played basketball, baseball, and I taught gymnastics. But Ralph Abernathy, a famous civil rights leader, encouraged the scrollers, I was the pledgee for the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, to attend Dr. Martin Luther King's church. And while I was there, Rosa Parks, a civil rights leader, better yet, a domestic worker, was sitting in the wrong part of the bus, and she was arrested. And so he said at church, I have been asked to lead the effort to desegregate the Montgomery transit system, and I'm going to do so, and I'm going to use a nonviolent means approach in order to bring that about. So if someone strikes you on one cheek, you turn so you can get struck on the other cheek. I'm a student of Gandhi. And I raised my hand. He said, Jesse, what can I do for you? I said, Dr. King, you know I'm from Chicago, and we don't operate like that. He said, well, just follow the script and everything will be fine. And so as a result of me playing basketball, baseball, and teaching gymnastics, he would come to all of the basketball games, and he would give me $20 after every game. That was legal then. I don't think it's legal now. But
wow.
The bottom line is this. He taught me about loving my fellow man and woman, and doing something good for someone every day, and being at my duty station, discharging my duties to the best of my ability.
And everybody knows there was this talk about, Jesse White could have been a Cub, and, that could have been your career, and it might have gone that way, but there was kind of a fateful evening in 1963. You were having lunch with a white journalist in Salt Lake City, and that was the end of it.
Yes, I hit a home run, and I very seldom hit a home run, mostly a single or double hitter. And so she said, Jesse White, I'd like to know if I could have lunch with you tomorrow. I said, well, fine. I said, what's the lunch going to be about? And she said, well, I heard that you do a lot of wonderful things back in Chicago, and I'd like to capture them and make it a part of my article. I said, okay, fine. I said, where we're going to meet? She told me, and what time? She told me. And then while I was sitting there, she had a microphone in front of her, and while I was talking with her, two of my ball players stopped by, and they looked at me, and they hit each other on the shoulder and nodded a little bit, and then they walked away. And then a fellow by the name of Paul, what's his name?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I'll think of it in a minute. He's one of the coaches and one of the individuals who had the last word to say about who was going to be promoted to the Cubs. Salt Lake City was AAA, and that's the next step to the majors. And so he just looked at me and looked and looked and looked, and finally he left. And before the game, he indicated to me that I was out of order and that I was having lunch with a white woman. I said, well, she was a reporter, and she wanted to capture some information about what I do during the off-season in Chicago with young people. And so he says, well, I'm going to tell you this. You're on the short list to go to the Cubs, but the rest of the knowledge that this will not take place.
And the good news is Tom Ricketts actually kind of fixed that a little bit recently.
Yes, Tom Ricketts. Well, the Cubs were owned by the Wrigley Spirit Gum, and Bill Wrigley to be exact. And Tom Ricketts heard the story, and he decided that he was going to fix it. So he called me one day, and he indicated that he wanted the Tumblers to come out to Wrigley Field, and he also had a special treat for me. And so as it turned out, it was Jesse White Day at Wrigley Field, where the Tumblers performed. I threw the first pitch out, and then he signed me to a Major League contract.
So that's what you're doing next season, then? You're playing for the Cubs?
No, I'm going to do like they say in Jamaica. I'm going to take it easy.
Right.
I'm going to work with the Jesse White Tumblers.
I know that you are most proud of the Jesse White Tumblers and more than 18,000 kids going through that program. By the way, you and I were talking earlier. They performed here in WGN.
For Bozo Circus many, many times. many years ago.
Fantastic. Tell me about the connection between gymnastics and how it is you view that and training the kids to become good citizens in their future.
Well, I graduated from Lincoln Park High School. It was Walker High School then. Played basketball, baseball, and I played the band and orchestra, played drums. And you had to maintain at least a C average in order to be able to participate in any sports activities. And so I decided to incorporate that particular requirement to become a part of the Jesse White Tillman team. So no drinking, smoking, swearing, dropping out of school. Just like anyone, because of race, creed, or color, you have to maintain at least a C average in school. And when you meet those requirements and you're a good athlete, then you qualify to become a part of the Jesse White Tillman team. And I've had the great pleasure of having over 18,500 young people within that program over the past 64 years. I believe when you get it back, and you must do something good for someone every day. That's how I run my life.
Can you teach me to tumble before you leave today?
I can work on that.
No, you can't. Good luck. So then you were Cook County Recorder of Deeds. I mean, as we look at your career, I want to focus in on that. And you decided to run for Secretary of State. I'm trying to pick these moments that might surprise people. And everybody assumes, oh, Jesse White, everybody in Springfield loved it. You didn't have the support of Mike Madigan back then. You took him on.
No, I didn't. I was a ward committeeman of the 27th Ward, and my 12th precinct captain said, well, we think that you'd be an ideal candidate for Secretary of State. I said, no African-American had ever served as Secretary of State for the state of Illinois. And they said, well, we think that you have the qualifications to do so. I said, well, what is your recommendation? I said, well, I think you should speak with Speaker Madigan, who was the chairman of the Democratic Party. I said, okay, fine. So I indicated to him that I wanted to speak with him. He invited me over to his office. And I asked him, did I create a problem in my desire to run for Secretary of State? And he said, yes, you do. I said, can you explain that to me? He said, well, all of the people who are running for the constitutional offices are from Cook County, and we need someone from Central Illinois or Southern Illinois. I said, well, you're absolutely correct. I said, who do you have in mind? She said, Penny Sevens, senator from Decatur. I said, I know Penny. Well, Glenn Bouchard, the former congressman. Yeah, two great candidates. And so he said, there's a fellow by the name of Tim McCarthy who was seriously thinking about running. I said, well, who is Tim McCarthy? He said, well, Tim McCarthy is a gentleman who was the Secret Service agent at the time, who took a bullet for President Reagan. I don't know him. I don't trust him. I think he's a Republican. I said, okay, fine. So I went back to my organization. I indicated that I had a conversation with Speaker Madigan, and he didn't give me any encouragement. So they said, we're going to circulate your petitions anyway. I said, you guys go right ahead and do what you want to do what you have to do. I'm enjoying being the Cook County Recorder of Good Deeds. So 2 months later, they called me back into the ward headquarters. They said, well, we have something we'd like to show you. They say, see these petitions? These are yours. They're all good. You see these petitions? They're not any good. They're Penny Sevens. There's 25 people sat around the round table. And these petitions, I want you to take a look at. And I looked and I saw that Congressman Lipinski, Ed Burke, Tom Hines, and Mike Madigan had circulated those petitions for Tim McCarthy, who lived in Orland Park. And so I asked for another meeting, and I indicated that I thought he was being disingenuous, in that he said he didn't want anyone from Cook County to run for office, for Secretary of State's office. And he said that he thought that Tim McCarthy would be a better fit for the organization. He would be able to retain control of the House and gain control of the Senate. So if I were you, Jesse White, I'd tell my friends not to waste their time, their efforts, or their energies on your behalf, because Tim McCarthy's going to become the next Secretary of State for the state of Illinois.
Famous last words, because you were the next Secretary of State for the state of Illinois.
My response was that I came to the meeting seeking a reason as to why I shouldn't run. You give me a reason as to why I'm going to run. You have a good day, sir. And I averaged 14 to 16 events every day, traveling all over the state of Illinois, determined to make him wrong and to become the next Secretary of State for the state of Illinois.
And the proof's in the pudding, Mr. Secretary, because I looked at the election results over the years, never even a close race. One time you were the highest vote getter in this state. Your point got made every single time you ran. Look, you have lots of accomplishments as Secretary of State, seatbelt laws, anti-drunk driving, tougher standards for teens getting licenses. But every time there's a Secretary of State election, it's we've got to modernize, we've got to modernize. Is there anything not done that you wish you had done?
Well, there's only one thing, and that is, right now they're selling marijuana, and there's no measurement for the consumption of marijuana in terms of you having an accident or you being pulled over. Like, for example, if you get pulled over or being overserved when it comes to alcohol, 0.08. And then if you get cited for a 0.08, there's an opportunity for you to get what is called the Bay device. You blow into the tube and alcohol is detected and the car won't start. Now you have marijuana. There's no measurement for marijuana, and a lot of people are losing their lives. A lot of accidents are occurring, and I told Alexei Giannoulis, my replacement or successor, that that's one thing that needed to be fixed.
And we'll see whether he does. I'm sure he will. Organ donors, that's also been a major mission of yours. There was an ad that ran you with your sister. This is just something very important to you. Will you continue to work in that area?
I will. We're proud of the fact that when I first started in the office, we'd ask individuals to, when you're alive and well, give blood. You no longer here give organs. So when you've done those two things, you will have made a positive impact upon society. If you consider the fact that one person can provide life or improve the quality of life for 25 individuals. And so as it has turned out, you had to be 18 years of age to participate in the program. We went to the Illinois General Assembly, asked them to change the law to allow 16 and 17-year-olds, when they got their driver's license, to be able to sign up, and 270,000 young people have signed up. And then, of course, we're proud of the fact that the people of the state of Illinois are assisting us in this effort to give others a second chance in life, and we're proud of it.
So, finally, you're 88 years young. Nobody actually believes you're going to retire. You say Jamaica, but what is on your agenda in the coming years?
I'm going to continue to work with the Jesse White Tillman team on a regular basis. I have a center called Jesse White Community Center and Field House at 412 West Chicago Avenue. And every day I'm going to be there, and I'm going to work hard to give our young people an opportunity to go tall and straight and to become productive citizens of our society. And when we do those things and more, we in society benefit.
Mr. Secretary, I feel comfortable saying on behalf of the people of Illinois, thank you for your service, sir, very much so. In the military, for our state, even for the Cubs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Glad to
speak to you.